Hi, and welcome back to Yoga with Tim. Today we're going to start off with a seated meditation. So one of the things that I'd like you to take time to is to make a space for the practice. So as we do that, we'll sit as upright as possible, even if you have to sit on a block if your tendency is to slouch. And then we're going to just close our eyes and practice bringing our awareness into the inner body, and then also paying attention to the breath. So as I ring the bell, we'll practice 3 conscious breaths together. Sit up straight and tall, roll your shoulders back, rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes and draw your awareness inward. Then gently open your eyes, but still keep your focus inward on your breath and the sensation in your body. Then lie down onto your back. And we'll take cross legs on the back. And so now with your legs crossed, you might feel that as the thighs drop down, that the lower back narrows. So lift your thighs up just slightly, spread across your sacrum lower back, and then let the thighs start to release towards the floor as the lower back, tops of the buttocks widens. Take your arms up to the ceiling, grab a hold of the opposite elbows, and start to make circles with your elbows. As you're doing this, I want you to feel like the humeral head, the arm bone, is dropping down into the socket. And then change the direction. Just starting to lubricate the shoulder joint. Notice where there's tension in any of the range of motion. Then change the clasp, change the cross of your legs, and make circles in the other direction. And other direction. Then holding your elbows, start to reach your elbows overhead. And just like you're widening the tops of your buttocks and your lower back, now I want you to widen across your back bottom ribs as your arms are stretching overhead. So you're spreading your lower back, your upper lower back, back of the skull, back of the neck. Stretch the knees and elbows away from each other. And then bring your elbows back up. Now take the soles of the feet together. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling and hook your hands. And now as you inhale, slowly let your arms fall back, but notice the tendency for the ribs to want to tip up. Keep the ribs tipped into your body as your arms fall back. Bring your arms back up. And inhale, slowly let your arms start to fall back. Bring the arms back up. And one more time, slowly let your arms fall back. And back up. Good, then bring your knees together. And we're gonna work on turning on the low abs now. So to open up your arms to the side like cactus arms. Then as you exhale, tuck your pubic bone towards your chest. Feel your lower back start to flatten. And then lift the buttocks up towards the ceiling. And inhale, let it go. Exhale the pubic bone towards the chest. Feel your lower back start to flatten. Push the buttocks up towards the ceiling. Grip. And let it go. Bring your legs into tabletop position. And as you exhale, pubic bone towards the chest. Push straight up to the ceiling. And let it go. Again, pubic bone in towards your chest. Push up. And let it go. Now take a block in between your hands. If you don't have a block, you could just imagine that you had a block in between your hands. Hold your legs in tabletop position. And as you slowly let the block go back overhead, lower your right leg away from you, but now keep the low abs engaged, upper abs engaged, so that the abs stay in as you stretch away from the midline, or away from the center rather, and then back up to center. And slowly change sides. Back up. Change sides. And now if you can hold the abs in, the lower belly in, and push the legs straight out. Go ahead. Back up. One more round. And then let's try the more challenging, lower both knees away from you, keeping the low abs in, rib cage in as the arms go back. And back up. 4 more times. Now on this last one, curl up and over to the outside of your right knee. Inhale back down. Exhale to the left. Inhale back down. Exhale to the right. Inhale back down. Exhale to the left. Inhale back down. Last round, exhale to the right and push your left heel forward. Inhale back down. Exhale to the left. Push the right heel forward. Inhale back down. Exhale up, straight up to the knees. Hold there, squeeze your abs in. Push your right heel forward. Change legs. Change legs. Change sides. Lower your knees down, lower your head down, open your arms out to the side like cactus arms. With your feet the width of your mat, let your knees swivel over to the right as you look to your left. Change sides, knees to the left as you look to your right. Come back to center and hug your right knee in as you stretch your left leg out along the floor. Change legs, hug the left knee in, stretch your right leg out. Hug both knees into your chest. Roll yourself back and forth a couple times as long as it feels okay on your lumbar spine. And then roll all the way up to seated. Come onto your hands and your knees. And let's go into flexion and extension. So flex the spine first. Tuck the buttocks to the backs of the knees. Round your back. Spread your blades. Inhale, sit bones up, wheel your chest forward. 2 more times and with your breath. Come into neutral. Stretch your left arm forward and your right leg back behind you, but keep the buttocks out of the lower back, the belly pulled up. As you exhale, bend the elbow and the knee. Inhale, reach back out. Exhale, bend the elbow and the knee. Inhale, back out. Exhale. Inhale, reach out. Lower your hand and your knee down. Change sides. Stretch your right arm forward, your left leg back. Bend the elbow and the knee. Inhale, reach out. Exhale. Inhale. Again. Last one. Lower your hand and your knee. Then open up your hands and press down into your index finger knuckle, middle finger knuckle, and ring finger knuckle. Open the skin on the hands and make sure your shoulders are right over the heel of your hand. Then keep the hands nice and firm and lift up on the inner shoulders. Scoop your belly up. One leg at a time. Step back into plank pose and keep your blades hugging down onto your back. As you scoop up in your belly, press down in between your big toe mound and second toe mound. Lift up your thighs. So feel your front body resisting gravity, resisting the tendency to sink. But then at the same time, engage your lats so that your blades aren't creeping up into your neck. The neck is long. Instead of letting the head hang, keep the head up in line with the spine. Now maintaining this, engage your core, raise your right leg up. Strong buttocks. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. Set that foot down, lower the knees, then lower your chest and your chin to the floor. Take a breath here, and then slide into Cobra pose. From Cobra, stretch your arms all the way forward, and we'll start to wake up the back muscles now. As you exhale, bend the elbows in a cactus position, lift the chest up away from the floor, and feel your external rotators turn on like you're lifting the wrist further from the floor. Inhale, stretch your arms forward, turn the thumbs up, get longer. Exhale, come back into cactus position. External rotators turn on, spine long. Inhale, arms forward, thumbs up. Exhale, back into cactus position, turn on the backs of the shoulders. Now press the tops of the feet down, engage your legs. Stretch the arms straight back behind you. Tap the hands down and lift up. Tap down, lift up, and squeeze the backs of the arms towards the ribs. Tap down and lift up. Same thing, squeeze, hold for 3. Engage your triceps. 2. And 1. Lower all the way down to the floor. Slide your hands next to your chest. Roll up into your cobra or upward facing dog. Stretch back into downward dog. In downward dog, lift your heels up high away from the floor, stretch the toes, and stretch the heels low towards the floor, open up the backs of the legs. Lift the heels up high, stretching through the toes, and stretch the heels down low towards the floor. One more time, lift your heels up high. Now keeping the toe tips curled under, set your knees down, stretch your hips back towards your heels. Keep reaching into those middle 3 knuckles and rotate the inner arms up to the ceiling, the biceps. Now come back onto your hands and your knees, flip the toes back, slide the hands in a few inches, and with the toes pointed back, start to lift up into downward dog, reverse toe dog. Set the knees back down, curl the toes under and stretch back into child. Come back up, point the toes back, and stretch back into dog. Again, knees down, toes curled under, stretch back. And then keeping your toes curled under, walk your hands back to your knees. See if you can get the toes to curl under a little deeper. You can even lift the knees up. And then see if you can walk your hands back onto your legs. As long as it's okay on your ankles and your knees, then hold here, interlock your fingers, turn your palms inside out, Stretch your arms forward. Feel your inner arm bones drop back into the socket, but then the arm muscles stretch long. Rebend, and then start to raise the hands up towards the ceiling. Bring your arms back down, hands back down onto the mat, and stretch back into downward dog. Open up the backs of the knees, open up the soles of the feet and the hands. Then 1 foot at a time, walk your feet all the way forward to the front of your mat. Put a little bend in your knees. Let the navel release towards the spine. Feel your groins release back and down towards your ankles. Let the back of the skull drop. Then slide your hands up your shins. Start to make a flat back. So push the hands into the shins. Feel the back muscles turn on, the lats. And then slide back down. Let the back of the skull release. As you inhale, come all the way up to stand, strong up over your pillar legs. Raise your arms up. And now, as you press down into your heel bones, lift through the outer side ribs up through the pinkies. And as you take a deep breath in, visualize the diaphragm being stretched through the reach of your arms. And release your arms down at your side. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into a flat back. Step back into plank pose. Lower slowly into chaturanga or all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Look all the way in between your hands. Step or hop your feet all the way forward to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose. Lower slowly into chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe evenly in and out through your nose. Slow, steady breathing. Look in between your hands. Step or float all the way up to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. From down dog, shift into plank and pull your right knee up into your chest. Then inhale, reach back into three-legged dog. Exhale the knee to the chest, pull up. Inhale, reach back. Exhale the knee to the chest, pull up. Step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Hug your right hip into the midline, lift from your belly and come up into crescent. Lean your chest right out over your knee, arms back behind you. Then set your left hand down and twist, take your right arm up. Bring your right hand down, set up your back foot for warrior one. And as you reach down through the four corners of your back foot, scoop up your navel. Inhale, come right up through the midline. Bring your hands back down, step back into downward dog, or take a vinyasa. Shift into plank and pull your left knee up to your chest. Inhale, reach back, three-legged dog. Exhale the knee to the chest. Inhale, reach back, three-legged dog. Exhale the knee to the chest. One more time, inhale, reach back. Exhale the knee to the chest, lift up. Step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Now firm your outer hip in, lift from your belly and come up into crescent. Now feel the stretch from your inner front hip all the way down into your big toe mound on your back foot. And at the same time, lift your side ribs so that you're not sinking, so you can get a deeper stretch in the inner front hip. And lift up through the outer side ribs, up through the pinkies. Get taller through the reach of the back leg. Chest out over your knee now, arms back behind you. Set your right hand down and twist. Take your left arm up. Bring your hand down, set up your back foot for warrior one. Reach down through the four corners of your back foot and keep your left hip crease drawing back towards your back ankle. Scoop up your belly, lift from your bandhas and raise your arms up. Bring your hands back down. Step back into downward dog or take a vinyasa. Look in between your hands. Step or float all the way up to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Sit your hips back like you're sitting into a chair. Descend your heel bones. Let the groins release down, but then lift up from the pelvic floor up through the core of the spine as you raise your arms, chair pose. Stand and release your arms at your side. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower into chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step your left foot. Inhale into warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. From downward dog, step your right foot all the way up to your right thumb. Then turn your back heel for warrior two. Now hug your right hip back into the midline, press the thigh knee out. Lift from your belly, take your left arm up and over, right arm forward. So now just glance down at your right leg again, and you want to see that your knee is pointing in line with your second, third toe. There's a track from the center ankle to the center knee to the center hip. Then smooth from this back leg hip all the way down into the four corners of the back foot. Keep the stretch from that back leg hip as you go to tip out over your right leg, and either bring your forearm to your thigh, or you can place your hand onto the outside of your foot. Take your left arm all the way over your ear, and find a long line of energy from your back ankle to your fingertips on the left arm. The crease of the right hip draws back towards your back ankle. Reach your chest away from your hips, and keep growing that back leg line long to the reach of your fingertips to your ankle. Then press down through your feet. Inhale, come up. Straighten your right leg and press in between your big toe mount and second toe mount on your right foot. Turn your thigh out. Then reach out over the straight leg, place your hand down onto the block or onto the floor, and stretch your left arm up to the ceiling. Then bring your left hand back down. Spin your back heel up as you bend your right knee. Plant the left hand flat and push down into those middle three knuckles again. Roll the inner arm forward and then start to turn your chest. Take your right arm up. Now roll into the outside edge of your back foot, and as you press down into the outer edge of the back foot, slide your right leg back into side plank. Then slowly with control, come back into plank pose and stretch back into down dog. Step your left foot up, turn your back heel down, reach down to your feet, scoop up from your belly and come up. Then check to make sure that your left knee is tracking with the third toe again, center ankle, knee, hip. Reach from your back leg hip all the way down into the four corners of your back foot, and then keeping the connection, the stretch through the back leg hip, start to lean out over your leg, either bring forearm to thigh or hand onto the outside of the foot on the block, and take your top arm all the way over your ear. Then find the connection through the hip, from the back leg, hip, through the foot, and through the reach of the fingers. Long line of energy. Breathe into it. Press into your feet and come back up. Then straighten your leg as you open up in between the big toe mound, second toe mound. Tip from your pelvis out over your leg. Place your hand down. Stretch your right arm up to the ceiling. Then bring your right hand down. Spin your back heel up as you bend your left knee. Plant your right hand flat and connect into those middle three knuckles again. Heel the hand under the top of the shoulder. Lift up on the inner shoulder, then twist. Left arm goes up. Turn onto the outside edge of your back foot. Reconnect into the roots of your right hand, and then step your left leg back. Press down into your feet. Lift up through your hips. Lift out of the shoulder instead of sinking into it. Come back into plank pose. Take a vinyasa or stretch right back into downward dog. Step your right foot for warrior two. Straighten your right leg and reach into triangle. Bend your right knee and slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe. Step up into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Then bend your right knee, slide back into triangle pose. Come up into warrior two. Flip your right palm up, reach up to the ceiling, reverse warrior, without sinking in your lower back. Lift out of the lower back as you reach through your fingers. Come back to warrior two, hands to the mat. Step back into downward dog or take a vinyasa. Step your left foot all the way up by your left thumb. Warrior two, inhale, come up. Straighten your left leg and reach into triangle. Bend your knee, slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe, and step up. Lift your left outer hip and move it towards your back heel. Then grow the spine long. The tip of the tail, reach it towards the back heel. Find that same line from your back leg ankle to your hip, all the way through your spine. Then as smooth as you can, bend your left knee and slide back into triangle pose. Reach through your feet, pull with your top arm, come back up. Bend your knee into Vira 2. Without sinking in your lower back, flip the palm, reach up. Then come back to Vira 2. Straighten your left leg, turn your left toes in so your feet are parallel. Plant down your roots, your heels, your big toe mounds, little toe mounds. Hands on your hips, roll your shoulders back, inhale. Exhale, tip forward in between your legs. Inhale, come into a flat back, reach your heart forward. As you exhale, bend your right knee and stretch through your left inner leg from your groin towards the four corners of your foot. Change sides. Back to center and fold forward. Turn your fingers to point back, thumbs point out, and let your head start to drop down. Then turn the fingers to point forward, classic position. Turn the elbows in as you root down into those middle 3 knuckles again. Lift your inner blades out of your ears and let your head drop down. Inhale into a flat back. Then walk your hands around to the front of your mat and step back into downward dog or take a vinyasa. Then come to a kneeling position. Sit back on your heels in Vajrasana. If this is too much on your knees or your ankles, then just sit with your feet in front of you. We'll come into reverse plank, whichever one we're doing with the feet in front or the feet behind. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders open, and then as you engage your bandhas, lift through the pelvic floor and your belly, start to lift your hips up. Lower your buns back down. Lower onto your belly. Bend your knees and reach back with your hands for your feet. Roll your chest forward and start to lift up into Dhanurasana. Stretch your legs straight back. Hold here, Shalabhasana with the feet elevated. Spin the groins up, but engage the glutes out of the lower back. Stretch your arms all the way forward. Keep reaching back to your toes. Bring your hands next to your side ribs. Roll up into upward facing dog. And stretch back into your down dog. Set your knees back down. Take your feet over to the left for Bharadvadrasana and twist to your right. Change sides. Take your feet to the right and twist to your left. Come back to center. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Then lean your torso back halfway. Scoop your belly, bring your knees up. Then as you inhale, slowly lower yourself into low boat. And come back up into high boat. Slowly lower into low boat. Come back up into high boat. So you can do this without the hands on the floor. It's a little more challenging for if you're a more advanced student. Come back up. We'll just do that 4 more times. And then hold in your high boat. See if you can lift your feet up. And maybe even take your arms forward. Good, then cross your legs and fold forward. Change the cross. Then lie down onto your back for final spinal twist. Open your arms out to the side. Now cross your right knee up and over your left knee, so the knees cross. Shift your hips over to the right a little and slowly let your knees start to fall over to the left without your right shoulder lifting off the ground. Come back to center, knees and hips. Change the cross of your legs, left knee over the right knee. Shift the hips over to the right a bit and slowly let your legs start to go over to the left, right, which way? To the right without the left shoulder lifting. Come back to center. Uncross your legs and stretch out for Savasana, corpse pose. Take a deep breath in, fill your lungs from the bottom all the way up to the top, and let it go. Completely let go. Just let your body drop into the mat now. Now, one of the beautiful things that I've noticed at the end of the yoga practice, you may have noticed this too, is that where in your body and your mind it felt like there wasn't very much space, like it was cluttered, the stress was weighing you down, you felt heavy. You might feel that now you feel very light in your body, like there's much more space, especially where it was achy or sore. Feel how much more open you feel. And then even in your mind, you'll notice that the mind feels more free. You're less weighed down by the thoughts. So you're in this meditative state. If it was difficult at the beginning to be in the body and pay attention to your breath, now you feel very relaxed. You could breathe and be very focused on the breath. So we'll just do that here now, a few conscious breaths. Being less identified with the movements of the mind and more identified with the space in between. Then gently bend your knees and roll to your right side. Press yourself up to seated. Sit up tall for a moment with your palms together and just take a moment to notice the shift that comes at the end of your practice, mind, body, spirit. Feel the union and the calm. Thank you. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more in your practice, there is a level 2-3 version of this class that I've put in the conscious movement community. I'll put the link below. In this class, we do more challenging standing poses, more balancing, twisting, and also some arm balances, inversions, and deeper hip opening at the end. So it takes a little bit more time if you're looking to deepen your practice. If you're looking to advance your practice and take it to the next level, I'd highly encourage you to click the link below and dedicate a little more time to your practice. So thank you, and make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. If you feel like there's stuff that you want to see from your yoga videos from me, then I'd love to hear from you. I get so many good ideas from you guys. I really appreciate it. All right, I'll see you next time. Have a great day.